Look, I get a bunch of cool tech sent to me at the office, and sometimes you just don't have enough time to make videos on all of these different products. For example, in my life right now, I just had a new baby, I recently tore my ACL, and I re-tore it again this week when I got mugged. Yeah, long story, but it'd make me feel better if you subbed. But look, we got products from all different categories today. I got smart home tech that can wake you up, a pen that literally defies gravity, smart wearables that can 100% cure insomnia, headphones that are probably one of the best looking pair of headphones, but are they actually any good? A solid value pick for a phone, my experience with a questionable spec upgrade to the new iPad Pro, and more. Make sure you guys stick around till the very end because this last product I'm gonna talk about quite controversial right now. Let's get into it. Look, you guys already know I'm a sucker for cool tech, but I mean, just look at this thing. Like, this thing is literally defying gravity. The thing is, whenever I want to buy something, my mind will do absolute gymnastics in order to justify that purchase. I need it! Comment down below if you're the same way. But I mean, this particular pen, I got it because I know for a fact it's going to improve my productivity by 93.4%. It's just fact. This is the Hoverpen 2.0 Interstellar Edition in Space Black. Now, they've designed this pen in order to basically resist gravity at a 23.5-degree angle. This is like the perfect gift that anybody who works at a desk can ask for. It's an aesthetic desk accessory that's actually functional. The pen is made from aircraft-grade aluminium, has smooth, precision-flowing ink, which you can refill, by the way, and the body with the satin-like finish. It just feels incredibly well crafted to not only see, but also to hold and use. And the kicker, it's also a solid fidget toy. Look at that. I could just spin this all day. Now, if that doesn't make cool tech category, I don't know what would. Next, I want to talk about this guy. This is the Ultrahuman Ring Air. Look, I've had my fair share of smart wearable devices. I'm a regular user of the Apple Watch. I've had the Whoop phase, which everybody has to, at some point in their life, go through. I've also had the Oura ring for nearly a year. I even tried the budget version of a ring called the Ringconn, but after trying all of these products, I ended up sticking with the Ultrahuman Ring Air. And I'll tell you why, but first, what's the point? Okay, so I want to establish that. Why do you need something like this? Well, you don't technically need it, but it is definitely a nice to have. Like, this little device is comfortable to wear, it's discreet, it's lightweight, and it'll allow me to basically see really interesting information about my life, like sleep insights, how long did I sleep, my resting heart rate, my skin temperature, and much more than that. But all of this info is actually useless unless you're actually able to use it to impact your life. And here's how I actually did. Now, I use the information Ultrahuman provides me to actually test things like, does caffeine affect my sleeping patterns? And doesn't matter at what point in the day do I drink caffeine. Like, it helps me track my phase response curve, for example, so that I can maximize my body's circadian rhythm with light exposure and food and drink as well. Okay, so with that established, now the question is, why Ultrahuman? Well, Apple Watch is annoying to wear to bed, I'm just gonna be honest. When you're sleeping, I usually like to lie down on my head or my wrist, so this thing becomes super annoying. I hate having something on my wrist, and the same issue goes with the Whoop as well. And as for the Oura ring, I really loved their rings and the software, but they started charging a monthly subscription for their app, and you've already paid for the ring, which I didn't like, so I didn't want to have another subscription ongoing, to be honest. And as for the Ringconn ring, I had a terrible experience with their team, and I could not in good conscience recommend that product. The one I have here is the titanium version that they just came out with, and it's really nice. It does scratch a little bit more than the black version, so there's that, but I like it. But because of the overall usefulness to your health and how nice it is and light, it falls into really cool tech. Now, speaking of smart tech, this next product will actually help you wake up in the morning. Now, this is a common complaint that my parents had in their particular bedroom, which is that the room stays pretty dark in the morning because their curtains do a pretty good job blocking light, which the reason why we have curtains, but whenever they need to wake up or they want some sunlight in their room, then they have to kind of get up and go to them and open the curtains and whatnot. So I actually partnered up with a company called Switchbot to basically go ahead and surprise them. This, my friends, is called the Switchbot Curtain 3, and it's basically a way to make your curtains smart. Installation was an absolute breeze, and it was as simple as literally just hanging this to your curtain rod. It takes less than 30 seconds, and it'll work with several different types of rods. So when you're ordering this, you can go ahead and see what kind of rod you have and order it accordingly. So I'm lying down, I don't want to get up, okay? It's too far away. So I'm just gonna be like, let there be light. Hold on, I gotta select the setting. Now, But once it's up there, the motors inside will actually allow this thing to easily push or pull curtains up to 16 kilograms. That's like my kids. But the cool part is there's 8 different ways that you can actually control this. Now you can always control this with your app, which you have on your phone, or simply touch the curtains and pull it for this to activate. But if you pair this with your Switchbot 2 hub, you get access to all the smart assistants. Hey Siri, close the blinds. They also sell a separate remote that you can use to open or close your curtains. But my favorite way to control the curtains is to combine it with your new Solar Panel 3. And this basically will use light sensitivity, so it'll open when it starts to get bright and close when it starts to get dark. But also because this is a solar panel, it's gonna keep your device charged and ready to go always. All in all, if you have curtains at home, I think this is a really cool product and it adds just a little bit of that je ne sais quoi to your bedroom. Next up, I want to talk about these guys, the Sonos headphones, okay? Because look, I'm a huge fan of Sonos. I literally have their entire home theater system with the Sonos Arc, the sub, the surround sound, 1SL speakers, their stands, everything. But also having experienced much of the other top wireless over-the-ear speakers that currently exist. Like I've done videos on the AirPods Max, on the Bose, on the Beats, and my current favorite pair of headphones, the Sony XM5s. So I wanted to see if these Sonos Ace can actually replace the current king of the hill for me. First off, in terms of cost, the Sonos Ace come in just $50 over the Sony XM5s. Now, design-wise, these things look really neat and clean. They also have this nice sage color hit inside them in order to identify the right ear cup. And just overall, the design is really clean, and also the controls are quite easy to use with like the rocker and stuff. You get the stainless steel headband that smoothly extends and stays in place from the Max, but you also get the superior materials, in my personal opinion, of the XM5s with the soft, plush memory foam vegan leather. Now, sound quality is also solid with lossless streaming, spatial audio, dynamic head tracking. You have active noise cancellation and transparency mode. Pretty much all the top headphones in this range will do an excellent job in any of these categories. And in order to pinpoint between them, you'd have to be an audiophile, which I by no means am, right? But I will say transparency mode, Apple still does it the best on any of their headphones. That being said, you do get 30 hours of battery life, you get fast charging, and case-wise, this is also hands down probably my favorite case out of the 3. But because Sonos has done such a great job and the color blocking and the look and feel of these headphones are so great, it gets included in really cool tech. Next, I want to talk about a phone that really needs a lot more love, okay? Guys, look, if you're somebody that's looking for a value-driven phone, something that will give you the best experience for the money, but you want to buy it new for yourself or as a gift for a family member, it's honestly hard to argue with the presence of the Pixel 8a. Coming in at under $500 with Google's super capable Tensor G3 SoC, the phone itself is super comfortable to hold, yet it feels like it's been made well. It's got the all metal construction. You have this glazed glass back. I don't even know if that could be even plastic, but they've done such a great job with building this phone. It does not feel cheap by any means. You also get access to the famous Pixel cameras, the main camera being 64 megapixels with 4K video recording, and you also have the 13 megapixel ultra wide, which is going to give you a little more freedom with the camera. Now, the display, surprisingly for the price, is solid. You get a 6.1-inch OLED panel with 120 hertz display. Guys, we're talking like even like top phones nowadays, some of them don't include that 120 hertz display panel. And I'm so glad that they decided to include that. Like at this price range, that's real value for money. Factor in the cool colors that you can buy, including this bay blue one that I have here. This becomes a really compelling offer. And especially now with Google really pushing AI features and stuff, you're pretty much getting access to all of the AI features that the more expensive flagship Android models will get. So, I mean, this is honestly a no-brainer. Plus, not to mention, you get the same pure Android experience with updates promised for many years to come. The Pixel has always been one of my favorite Android phones, and I have no issues recommending this one. And that's why the Pixel 8a is part of really cool tech. Okay, the next product. Oh, The next product is the iPad Pro. Okay, but what I want to talk about specifically is not the iPad Pro, but more so the version of the iPad Pro that I chose to get. Now, this particular one is the iPad Pro with a Nano texture display. This is a hotly debated topic on the internet right now, because in order to get this particular Nano texture display upgrade, you have to not only pay a little extra for the Nano texture, but you also have to bump up to the 1 terabyte model iPad Pro minimum. I spent a lot of time, and I mean like weeks, with both versions, the Nano texture version and the regular version, and I scrutinized them in all different lighting conditions, at home, outside, in the studio, and I didn't find a noticeable difference for me personally. In fact, I very much preferred the experience of the Nano texture display for 2 main reasons. Number 1, using this out and about was a fantastic experience, and the screen just looked incredible. And number 2, more importantly, the feeling of touching this display, my goodness, it's like a whole new iPad, right? Legitimately changed the way I interact with the iPad. Feels like a much more premium device and experience. And I don't know how to explain it. You really just have to visualize and experience this by actually using and touching the iPad. And even though it is an expensive upgrade, because Apple figured out a way to create this for the iPad, it makes it into really cool tech. Okay, last but not least, the final product, Meta Quest 3. Now this is a bit of a controversial one, because look, the Vision Pro just became available around the world in several different areas, including where I live here in Canada. And because of that experience, like of the Vision Pro, a lot of chatter has been going on in the interwebs about which is the better device. In fact, I actually made a dedicated video comparing this to the Vision Pro, and you can check that out after this video. And in that, we deep dive into both of these devices. But right here, for you guys, the question is, does the Quest 3, which comes in at nearly 7 times less expensive than the Vision Pro, does it actually provide a similar experience to the Vision Pro? Like, is it actually worth it? Now look, I don't know if it's a similar experience, but I gotta tell you, this thing performs damn good. This Meta Quest 3 for the money gives you like close to 80% of what you're going to get with the Vision Pro for 7 times less expensive. Sure, the quality, the clarity, and the smoothness, intuitiveness of the Vision Pro is unparalleled. And I mean that, like hands down, the best quality and clarity, movie watching, entertainment, or text reading, browsing, or even just, you know, using my MacBook Pro with the Vision Pro. Like, there's nothing on the market that will come as close to how good the Vision Pro can do that. But it is also like a very expensive device, and at just $500 USD, what you're getting with this, I think this makes it cool tech worthy. Like, you can still move things around with your hands, you can have windows around you, you can watch content. It's quite clear. Like, I would say it's like 1080p versus like that looks 4K HDR, but I mean 1080p is fantastic, right? And the gaming experience coming out of this thing is actually, in my opinion, better than the Vision Pro, because out of the box you get 2 separate controllers that you can use to play games. And because this device has been very gaming focused from day one, there's tons of games that are already out there, and the device is not as heavy, it's nice and light, there's no battery pack hanging out of it, so you actually are encouraged to like run around and play with this thing. And overall, if you have not experienced VR or AR, I think the Quest 3 is an amazing value conscious introduction to that world, and for that reason it makes it into cool tech, really cool tech. In any case, those are the products for today, okay? Let me know if you enjoyed this whole really cool tech video that I just did, and if I should do more of these. And until then, I will see you guys in one of these 2 videos over here. Take care.